Welcome everybody to today's webinar on Opkey and Workday and how we're partnering together to deliver the best-in-class test automation for Workday customers. Excited to have everybody here. I'll get into the agenda here real quick. So we're going to introduce Opkey for those of you who aren't familiar. We'll talk about this new partnership that we're very excited about that we've been working on with Workday. What exactly the partnership entails, how our customers currently engage with us, and ways we would love to work with all of you in the future. Best practices on implementing testing and test automation for Workday, and how you should think about structuring your own internal teams, and then Q&A. So there's a Q&A function in the bottom of the chat. You can obviously send through questions throughout. If it makes sense, we'll try and work them in. Otherwise, we'll hold and get through those questions at the end of the session here. And I'm joined today by Opkey's CEO, Pankaj Goel, and our Director of Product Solutions, Deepti Pandey. And we're all over the world here, as you may have heard. So we've got a global presence. So hoping we are serving our customers and prospects from all over the globe as well. So welcome, everybody. All right, I will kick it over. To Deepti or Pankaj, if either of you want to hop in here and kind of just talk through, what this partnership's all about.
Fantastic. So the way we will do, Noah, is that I'll talk through a few of the slides initially, introduce the company, the partnership, and stuff like that, and then we would invite Deepti to give her take on what exactly we are building and how she's looking at the future of this entire test accelerator for Workday.
Perfect. That's good.
All right. So folks, in case you haven't already heard, we are now the Workday Innovation Partners. And I mean, our specialty is testing as a test automation platform. Big deal for us because we have been working very closely with our customers, our system integration partners, and Workday over the last 3 years. And what you see today as part of the product platform is a culmination of those 3 years of effort from our side. So, what does that mean for you as customers or as partners? You get a best-in-class Workday-approved testing platform. That means that our integrations, our whole platform would be design approved by Workday, which means that you can be sure about us meeting all the hygiene that is required and that you expect from any Workday tool or any Workday platform, right? Second important thing is you will get a testing suite which is tailored to your Workday instance automatically. And I think Deepti is going to talk about it more. But more importantly, which is always updated. This Workday partnership allows us to be in the know of the changes that Workday is bringing to the ecosystem, all the latest and the greatest features it's building, and how it can impact you. And we automatically push update to our platform at the backend to make sure that your testing suites, your test cases are always in compliance to those changes, which means that you would not have to go through lengthy maintenance cycle again, right? And third most important aspect that I would like to highlight over here is, as a platform, we are agnostic of the product that you are testing. Workday is a partnership, but you would be able to test not just Workday. You would be able to test all the integrations of Workday with your other applications, be it your homegrown applications, be it other ERP systems or SaaS applications, right? So you really have control over not just Workday changes, but anything that change across your end-to-end ecosystem, you should be able to test with the platform. But as I mentioned, in my last point, Workday is not our first rodeo. I mean, we are an 8-year-old company. We are based out of US. Customers and partners love us. We have more than 150 customers, enterprise customers at this point of time. Most of them Fortune 200 as we speak. And apart from Workday, we partner with some of the other leading platforms like Oracle Fusion, Coupa, Viva, Salesforce, SAP, which means that, and others, we have 14 plus applications that we support. So which means that when you are implementing Opkey, while the Workday teams and your HCM teams are using it for Workday, it can easily elevate to a enterprise testing platform where your end-to-end testing can all reside in one place and be the single source of truth for you as you change fast. Right? One thing that would like to highlight over here is combined across all these ecosystems, we have more than 30,000 pre-built test artifacts, right? In fact, the number, I know the exact number at this point of time, it's more than 40,000. But what that does is that gives you a quick head start into testing. You don't have to create things from scratch, as I'm sure Deepti is going to talk about more. Right. With that, what I'll do is I'll invite Deepti here. And Deepti, would you like to share? I mean, when we started working on this whole platform, Workday specific test accelerator for us, what were you aiming for? What were the core foundational principles? And would love to know your thoughts about how we are building the product.
Sure thing. Thanks, Pankaj. Thanks, Noah. Evening, folks. Thank you very much for joining us in today's session. As Pankaj mentioned before, when we started building our accelerator 3 years back, and for Workday specifically, research was the first thing. We started reaching out to our enterprise partners, our customers who have Workday within their organization and their ecosystem, and we wanted to understand what were the key pain points which we were quite certain our offering has to tackle. So one of the things that came out, other than quite a few things which were mentioned, the gist was essentially these 3 things which you see. Painless onboarding and maintenance is something that was of utmost importance to us, because one of the things that came out was onboarding is very, very tedious. By that, what we mean is the Workday being a highly configurable system, there's no one size fit all, which means...
Deepti, just to be clear, you mean onboarding of other test automation tools or onboarding to Workday?
Absolutely right. Onboarding of other test automation tools.
Right.
So once the company have Workday configured in their ecosystem, ongoing testing obviously is of utmost importance, given Workday pushes weekly releases, and then obviously there are biannual releases as well. But most importantly, Workday being such a easily configurable system, it's constantly evolving in any corporate, in any business. So for any test automation platform, test automation tool, to understand those configurations, understand the business landscape, and understand how things work end to end was a lot of time consuming process. Most importantly, what people pointed was it requires a lot of involvement from their business analysts to make those platforms understand how Workday works in their ecosystem. So onboarding was absolutely a very, very time consuming process, lots of workshops, lots of questions back and forth. So that was one thing we always knew we have to tackle. Onboarding was one part. Automation doing once, does it for that point in time, but the real pain comes in with the maintenance. As I said before, the constant evolution of the tool in any business makes it really hard for the automated system and automated suite to remain updated. So that was the other pain which was brought out, very, very clearly highlighted, that ongoing maintenance of the automated test suite, for it to be always updated, was very, very important for any customer. Third point that this said was data. When we talk about testing, no one is alien to the need of the data. We need a very, very comprehensive data set to test the functionality and minimize the risk. So these were some of the key pain points which were highlighted amongst many others. I will be talking through them in a bit more detail as we move along. I'll move on to the next one, which is end-to-end business assurance. Now, as Pankaj pointed out, within ERP world, there is no such thing as I have one tool and it does all the job for me. More often than not, we see that a tool, any ERP system, is integrated with either other systems, which are third party, or any in-house inbuilt system. But there are some level of integrations which the tool needs to cater for on a day-to-day basis. That was the second point which was highlighted, that they were not looking for a test platform or a test tool which tests Workday application. They were looking for a platform which tests their ERP ecosystem. And when I say that, I mean integrations, because Workday works, any integration fails, the business gets impacted. So to minimize the risk, end-to-end business assurance was of key importance to them. Clearly, another area which we knew we had to excel in. And the third, and perhaps the most important, all the features, bells and whistles, yeah, but security is very, very important to everyone. So I will just highlight very quickly on this that at Opkey, we don't just understand the sensitivity of the data, but literally it's our religion to protect the data of any customer. With that intent, Opkey, the solution, the offering is SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, which effectively is the highest level of compliance for any automation test solution. The data is completely encrypted end-to-end, and it is fully protected. Not only that, we never believe in doing it one time and then leave it there. We have quarterly assessments for all our client data. We do vulnerability testing and penetration testing to keep us ahead in every aspect of security. So these were the three key things I would like to highlight here. Now let's dig a bit deeper into some of these, which I would like to touch upon. So Pankaj, if we could just move to the next slide, please.
Yep. Sorry, my system is a bit slow.
It's all right. All right, painless onboarding and maintenance is the first thing I'll be talking through. So guys, what you see here, I'll give you a sneak peek into how Opkey works and why we say that the onboarding for a customer is going to be extremely painless and very, very easy. So what you see here is we connect with your Workday system. We give the instance name, URL, username, and password. What we need for our platform, for Opkey to interact with Workday, is an integration level user access. Once we have it, our discovery engine will run and will discover your system. So just a bit, I use the word discovery. What you see here is our AI-enabled engine, which is effectively doing what the name says, discover. We are discovering how the system is configured for you. The first integration point for Workday, with Workday for us, is to understand what are the active business process definitions here. So I'll be talking a bit about the Workday lingo. So I hope, I'm quite certain people here would understand that. So Workday across modules will have multiple business definitions, but not every organization is going to be using them. So that was the first thing for us to understand what are the active business process definitions that are configured in your tenant, in your system, and we categorize them. So what you see here is our discovery engine in action. Once we have identified all the active business processes, no one is alien to the fact that against every business process, we can have multiple definitions, and every definition can be as simple or as complex as business needs it to be. So that was the second step, where we go in and identify that for every business process, what are the various definitions which you have configured in your system. So in this particular tenant, as you can see, against the higher process, there are 5 definitions which are configured. So this is the second point of us discovering your system. Now, folks, what you see here on this screen is essentially a whole test model built out for you, specific to your business, specific to your tenant. So what we have done here is we have pulled out the transaction data for that particular business event, which is hire. We have understood all the various definitions which are implemented for hire in your tenant. We have done the mapping of the data against the definitions, and we have sketched a whole test model for you in one go on a button click. So you see the complete path from start to end that are possible for any employee ID to be created and follow the higher definition in your tenant, in your ecosystem. So this here is...
Deepti, I have a
But
question for you
Bharat,
here. I'm sorry,
go
this
for
is
it.
very, very interesting. But I know that Workday is highly customizable or configurable, as you said, right? You can create custom objects, you can have custom fields, and that can appear as additional fields in your
Absolutely.
business process. Does our process mining and definition discovery, does it take care of those areas as well?
100%. Absolutely. So this process you see here, Pankaj, is not just what all the tasks within a business process which are Workday defined, but it also caters for the tasks which are created for custom objects and calculated fields. 100% in
Nice.
their
Thank you.
entirety. No problems at all. Thanks for highlighting it. Then we map it, we do the test model. It gives you a complete picture of what coverage needs to be done for your system. Now, the whole idea here, what you see is I've selected a couple of definitions rather than making it such a big spaghetti. I said, all right, fine, streamline it. You're more than welcome to select whichever definitions you want to select, which you think are applicable and you would like to test. The next step comes into play where we mine the data. What it means is we have gone through your whole tenant, and we have identified that based on the transactions you've done, these are the routes, these are the paths which have already been covered. However, these are the paths which are still to be covered. So we give you a glimpse of mined versus suggested, as you see here. Once this discovery is done, this analysis is done, where we have understood your system, we have come up with the test model for you, there are two things left to do. The first one is data, and the second is automate and run. And that's exactly what we do, again, just on a button click. So what you see here is automate button. Once I click on it, you will see exactly what test model I'm going to be automating for you. So click on it. There you go. Based on all the business process definitions which you have selected, based on the model which Opkey has designed for you, which, by the way, you can just see in a flowchart workflow form, here is the test automation. It has automated all the test cases across all those paths just on a button click. Mostly, Pankaj, I think.
Let me understand it a bit.
Go.
Which means that traditionally, the way people would create their test cases, do record, playback, and stuff like that, right? But now you don't need it because you are creating a test model at the backend, and your generative engine. We know we'll use a lot of machine learning at the backend, and dare I say AGI. So your AGI engine then generates these test cases automatically, or would people have to do something around it? I mean, they would have to still record, playback, and stuff.
Absolutely not. That's the value proposition we bring to the table, Pankaj, that it's just a button click. We have created a model for you. Now, once you confirm that, once you get assured that, yes, this does enough coverage, our generative AI engine looks after everything in the background. The other thing I forgot to mention, Pankaj, data, I touched upon it in the initial pain points that were highlighted. So if you go 2 slides back, please, I will show you where we have, that's it, where we have mine versus suggested. Guys, you see these counts here, and I apologize, I totally forgot to take the screenshot. 7, 7, 7. These are various data combinations across every definition. So once I expand them, it will tell you exactly what parameters we have identified haven't been used for every pick list which comes in that path. So not only is our generative engine, our artificial AGI engine generating test cases for you, we do not need you to tell us, hey, can you please cover this data set, this data combination? We are covering it in its entirety. We are doing the configuration mining, every pick list, the values that are there, we are covering them, we are making all the permutations, and there you are.
Nice.
So once the test suite is generated for you, I would like to show you that's exactly how our test case looks like. Low code, no code, very simple, very user-friendly language, all the reusable components made in the background for you, automatically test case compiled for you. All that is left now, data generated for you. All that's left now is run and just see the impact.
Yeah. But Deepti, a question over here, right? Since
Sure.
let's say if someone, we are creating these automatically, but if someone wants to go ahead and edit these these login to Workday, for example, I assume this is a method or a function library, right?
That's correct.
Do they have full control or flexibility into what's inside it, and can they go ahead and change it?
Absolutely, Pankaj. So our test case and our test suite and test cases that we've created are completely customizable. Also, to that point, one doesn't have to run all the test cases that were shown in the previous slide. Just because I've automated the complete test model doesn't mean I have to run it in one go. You have complete flexibility and access to modify, to run one particular test case at any point in time, and rest assured that that test case is always updated with your existing configuration. That's the beauty of it.
Nice. Got it. Thank you.
Have I answered your question?
100%.
I'm going to hop in real quick as well. Just a couple of things. A few people who have just been trickling in. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to add those into the chat. And then we did have a question that came in. I don't know if you'll get to this later, but given a lot of the kind of the way the platform is built and the functionality, what does a typical onboarding timeline look like for a customer who's trying to bring their Workday testing into Opkey?
Sure. I will take it, Pankaj, and then you add on if I miss something. So guys, depending on the modules that you have implemented, depending on the discovery, the extent of discovery that we have done, the onboarding process can vary anywhere from 3 days up to 1.5 to 2 weeks. But that's the time frame, that's the window we are looking at. But typically, we try to onboard most of our customers, 90% of all of those things within a week or so.
Yeah, Deepti, that would also depend. I mean, I'm assuming that when you say 1 week or 1.5 week, you mean just the core Workday test cases, right? But there would be integrations, there would be third-party apps as well. So I would just like to add on to what you said and say that, based on the complexity, typically on an average, what I've seen customers onboarding, not just Workday, but their end-to-end integration test cases as well, is around 3 to 4 weeks, right? But if it's just Workday, you're right. I mean, 1.5 week, 2 weeks max is what we have seen, because sometimes it's also dependent on we getting the right access, right users and stuff like that in the beginning as part of onboarding. So, but yeah.
Actually, that's very, yeah. Now, that makes perfect sense, Pankaj, and that's a very important point to get the right level of access. Because as you just saw, we have to do the discovery, we have to do the mining, we have to understand your configurations and your implementation. But if we have the right access, and if I'm talking about Workday, because that was the context here, yeah, typically week and a half is what we're looking at.
Fantastic.
Answer that. All right, guys. So this was the onboarding. Now I will quickly touch upon the maintenance part of it because maintenance was the other thing, and I specifically focused upon it. So our platform and our test offering is essentially equipped with what we call impact analysis, and a constant impact analysis helps us to keep our automated test suite up to date. We don't just do it in the background. Yes, we do it in the background, but we give you a complete analysis and picture of what we are doing. And that's what I'm going to show you. So Opkey has a very, very good and a strong AI-powered impact analysis tool that we very fondly call, of course, impact analysis. So the first part of it is impact report. So any change, anything that you have done, the first thing we do is we analyze the changes you've done. The changes in Workday, typically, we categorize and we've analyzed them into 2 aspects. One is we do the process discovery, and then the other is we do the metadata snapshot. Now, what it means is we discover what processes have changed within your system, within your integrations, and at high level, at the business process level. And then we go a step further where we check that what level of data has changed. For example, an object has been added. Within a custom object, a couple of fields have been added. Within a pick list, a configuration value has been added. So we do that analysis. Now, we typically categorize our changes into the 3 baskets. We analyze what our business processes have changed, what all custom objects have changed, and what all impacted integrations have changed. We analyze them, we present it in a graphical form as you see it. Once you click on it, in this particular screenshot, in this particular tenant, you can see 3 changes were made to the hire process. There was a proposed compensation hire, which in itself is a business process, but in this instance, it was used as a sub-process for hire. So the proposed compensation hire sub-process has changed in its own right. And to top it, hire process, it has also got an approval hierarchy added to it, along with the custom object added to it. So the parent as well as child both have changed.
Nice.
Pankaj, if you go screen back, please. Here, hire, we have analyzed that hire has 3 changes. That is not just the business change for that parent process, but we have also identified that something in the definition, which is a sub-process, has changed. But proposed compensation hire, which is a business process in its own right, is also a change candidate because the definition for proposed compensation has changed as well. So that's the level of detail analysis we do.
Nice.
And you can expand.
Deepti, how often do you see your customers running this impact? I would guess not only with the Workday changes, but while they are making the business as usual changes, they can run it anytime, right? And use this report as a audit for what's changing and a visibility into the whole change mechanism, right? Or change management.
Absolutely, Pankaj. And with Workday pushing the changes weekly, pretty much, for most of the clients, we have the first couple of days of the week, every week, it's a quick check to check, has anything changed?
Nice.
And audit, especially for the companies, auditing is so important. It gives them one view, single point of view for everything that could possibly change in their ERP world, including the integrations.
Great, thank you.
Pleasure. Right, so if we move forward, as I said before, changes have happened, glimpse of what changes have happened. On the right panel, you can see that proposed compensation hire as a process has changed. On top of it, the 2 components have been added to the hire process itself. Once you confirm that, yeah, this is the right analysis, now comes our magic. What we have to do is update it for you again on a button click. So what you see here, self-heal, is all you have to click. Clicking on self-heal button, again, our AI engine will go in the background, read the process definition, understand this sub-process is a part of a parent process, updates it automatically.
I actually clicked on this button. I forgot that this is a screenshot.
Now, I think in future, very soon, Pankaj, I would like to have like a live demo session and give everyone an actual feel of how this amazing platform works. I'm very keen to do that.
Good stuff.
So to see it in action is a completely different thrill, and yeah, I would like everyone to experience it honestly. So, but this is a quick glimpse into how effective, quick, and just click of buttons and user friendly. The whole premises of Opkey has always been everyone in your business who understand the business should have the capability to do things themselves. Nice. And keeping that in mind is what we have designed the whole screen, the whole solution around it. So this form is so easily understandable by any business analyst, by any executive director, by any engineer, anyone. So the whole persona we have covered.
Great.
That's effectively what I wanted to touch upon. So now touching upon the second pain point which came across, which was end-to-end business assurance. Moving on there, right. So Pankaj, pitch in, because this is the topic which Pankaj is so passionate about, automated integration testing.
Yeah, and this again alludes to something that we were discussing in the beginning of webinar, right? I mean, when we were in the practice session and all, we were just having a conversation. We came back from one of the Oracle events here recently, folks, and the whole chatter, the whole buzz was around how enterprises are adopting the concept of composable enterprise application system, right? Or as Forrester calls it, a DOP, digital operations platform, where you just don't have one application. And Deepti also put it very well that it's rarely just one application that makes your enterprise stack. It's multiple applications, often SaaS talking to each other. You have homegrown applications and stuff like that, right? So while you are testing Workday, you would also have to make sure that all the interfaces there, where the data comes inbound and outbound, right? You have to test those as well. And then on top of it, you have to test the end-to-end ecosystem. So what Opkey does is, what we saw as part of our process discovery that Deepti showed, exactly the same thing happened where Opkey's engine, it goes and it discovers all your Workday Studio integrations. It discovers all your EIB integrations. And if you have use a third-party iPaaS, right, platform integration platform as a service solution like Boomi or a MuleSoft or any such solution, it can also go integrate with that ecosystem and discover all your integrations and bring it here in one place. As you see over here, I mean, the direction of arrows, it shows the direction of integration and the data flow. But if you see over here, we have a customer here who is using Workday for core HCM. ServiceNow is ITSM. Salesforce is their CRM. Oracle Fusion is financials, but they're using Coupa specifically for spend management. And trust me, this is the least complex of the architecture we are working with, in terms of the customer enterprise integrations. So we integrate these automatically. We find these automatically, and then a whole set of tests are prepared based on that, again, automatically, based on the generative engine that Deepti was talking about. It looks at the endpoints, what kind of integration it is, if it's web service integration, REST or SOAP, and it creates those unit tests and end-to-end integration test over here from the web service perspective. So which means that now you have the flexibility to change your integrations or integrate more system faster, because your enterprise solution architects now have full visibility into changes that are happening and the tests that needs to run with every change. And again, a big part of it is automatic. Right? Finally, you can use our AI assistant, Wilfred, to say, hey, show me all the connected method, or show me what has changed in a specific integration between Oracle Fusion and Coupa. And then it gives you that specific test case to be shown and to be displayed over here.
Pankaj,
And not just that. Yeah, Aditi, I'm sorry, go on. You want to add something?
Sorry, no. I would very quickly like to just add on what we experienced last week, where the desktop application for one of the clients we are onboarding was paying for payroll system. They were using a homegrown, home-built desktop application. And that was a big challenge for them, for their business. So the connection itself was quite flaky and has always been, they said it was a legacy system, but it was my first time experiencing our integration dashboard, integrating with an application of that sort. And I was amazed at how quickly it just picked it up. So just to reinforce and reiterate that it doesn't have to be all these big SaaS applications. Any homegrown, home-built desktop applications, we cater for them as well.
Great. Thank you very much. And as you see over here, you have different ways in which your test case can appear. You have the API interface, your functional tests, all in one end-to-end ecosystem that you can test. It's a pretty powerful stuff here, folks. Right. So, what I would like to take away from here is not just your core Workday functionality or the configurations you have done, but also your integrations and all your upstream and downstream applications. You can test all from a single interface, test it anytime, test it every time, right? So with any change that comes in. Right, with that, Deepti, by the way, good stuff. I mean, I knew some of the features that your team have built over the last few years, but some of the stuff is fascinating that I saw recently regarding impact analysis.
Thank you.
One. Right. Now, coming to data and its security, as Deepti mentioned, we take data and the data security very, very seriously. It's almost sacred to us. And that's why, we adhere to the highest level of security compliances. So we are SOC 2 compliant, we are GDPR compliant, life sciences and pharma need it. We are HIPAA compliant, though we don't store any of the PII, but still we have gone ahead proactively. We are there. GXP compliant. Anyone who is from the life sciences industry would know this, that the platform has to be validated. So our platform is validated. PCI, basically all the security standards, we make sure that any engineering, any architecting that we do, our first done criteria for accepting any feature into the production is whether it has passed the security audit and security certification from a third party. Right? So with us, you can be rest assured about the data. We also have an option of deploying Opkey, not just on our clouds, but take Opkey and deploy it on your clouds. So some of the customers in US particularly who are FedRAMP or who have a need for FedRAMP certified solutions, the way they work is they take Opkey and they deploy it in their FedRAMP certified AWS or Azure, and we support multiple clouds there. So yeah, so I mean security is very, very serious, and with us you can be assured that your data is secured and your information is safe. Right. Real quick about the engagement models over here. We are a platform, as we say, and we would like to empower your teams to start using the platform and test not just Workday but other applications as well. But at the same time, we have our own managed services model, a professional services team, who ensure that that you are successful. So, which means that whatever kind of support you would need in terms of onboarding, in terms of continuous maintenance, we have models, we have teams who can work with you throughout. We have a dedicated Opkey University where you have all the certification courses available for you to get certified on Opkey. So all in all, I mean, we work in both the models, the whole self-managed model, or a model where we help you, provide white glove service to onboard you, and then train your teams and be there as your buddy throughout your automation journey. All right. So some closing thoughts from your side, Deepti, on I know there are some heavy duty events coming up from Workday perspective, right? Their second release is coming up sometime soon, Deepti?
Yeah, September. We're just gearing up for it, Pankaj. Look, I'm not going to say anything which is going to be groundbreaking or a great revelation here. I'm going to say just stick to basics, guys. So the key to keep in mind while you're implementing any Workday solution, any test solution, not just for Workday, just for your business, test early and test often. So have an approach which suits your business and which enables you and allows you to test as early as you can and obviously as often as it is possible. Prioritize your most at-risk areas. Sorry, by the way, going back to test early and test often just came to my mind for upcoming R2, as Pankaj said. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, mid next month, Workday is going to release the release notes for the upcoming release. So there you go, a good starting point. Opkey will start reaching out to all the customers with the analysis. And so for September release, July, as soon as release notes comes out, yeah, that's a very good point to start. Then prioritize your at most risk areas. Obviously, our tool keeps a risk profile for all the functionalities we do, but I'm sure that's a very standard practice. So always make sure that the time is spent on the risk areas first, and then cater and trickle down as we go down. Just test as we go down based on the risk profile of your implementation. Then test maintenance. As I always say, automation or testing is not just one-time effort. You have to come up with a platform, you have to come up with an offering or a tool which is maintainable and doesn't take an arm and leg to maintain a tool. It has to be in a state of constant in sync with your business. So obviously like Opkey, that's an utmost priority for us. So guys, always go for a system or a platform or a tool which allows you to test anytime. And no-code test automation platform, again, as we always say, it doesn't have to be one dedicated technical team looking after your testing. It can be anyone in your business. It can be your business experts. It can be your business analysts, not just a technical team. So use a tool, adopt a platform which empowers everyone in the business to keep your business running smoothly. So just some key pointers, and I'm not sure if we have any of our partners in here. Next month, we'll start reaching out to people with our impact analysis of release notes, nice and early. So here's some pointers for everyone.
Great. Thank you very much, Deepti.
Perfect. We do have a couple questions that came in. Some of this I think has already been addressed. So there were certainly some questions around the security and compliance and how Opkey ensures everything's secure in testing environments. I think we've answered that throughout this, but we'll be in touch certainly after. And if there's any specific questions about your specific needs within your environment, we'll be happy to directly answer those. Can you discuss the reporting and analytics capabilities of Opkey's test automation for Workday? And kind of what are you seeing from customers as far as how they're using the reporting today to improve their, drive their better business decisions?
Absolutely. I will. Oh, sorry, Pankaj, you start.
No, go ahead, Deepti. You can answer it way better. Go ahead.
Right. So, guys, thanks for the question. For all our existing customers, the reporting which we provide is very comprehensive at this stage. So after every run, be it the entire suite, be it the particular test case, a very comprehensive report gets generated and gets shared on the specified email addresses. It gets auto-generated and sent to you. So a very, very detailed analysis of what has been tested, what are the various data combinations that have been tested, and with some screenshots. That's the most powerful thing. So reporting tool, and I think I totally forgot to touch upon it. With every execution, we have a very powerful reporting mechanism that allows you, facilitates you to see and weigh how your testing has been and how has it been going. Anything you want to add to it, Pankaj?
No, I think, we have more than 14 predefined templates of reports that you can use, or we have our own custom report builder where you can query our result and report database, and you can create your own custom traceability reports, validation reports, and the way you want it. So pretty exhaustive and extensive framework over there.
Perfect. I think let's try and we'll squeeze in one last question. And as I mentioned, we'll be in touch with everybody after, anybody who downloads this once it's on demand. So if there's any specific questions that come up after the case, we'll certainly be in touch, and there'll be forums for those discussions as well. But one last question. So obviously the nature of this webinar is specifically around Workday, but is there anything that a customer or prospect needs to keep in mind if they do have one of those highly integrated environments, if they do have the Oracles and Salesforce? Is there anything that they would be different between the Workday offering and some of these other platforms that they need to keep in mind?
Yeah, that's a good question. Good question. In terms of the capabilities, right, and in terms of what the platforms allow you to do, you would see subtle differences between what Opkey can do for Workday versus what Opkey can do for Oracle or for SAP, right? And we all know Workday, in terms of the accesses, in terms of the information, they are a highly secure platform, right? They don't expose much. So you would see a bit of difference, but what we have tried to keep the core engine same. So you will see discovery, across all the different applications. You would still see the whole integration environment coming in, but the level of data that discovery exposes for a Workday environment might be, a bit different from your SAP or from your Oracle. So I think something to keep in mind is that you would have to make sure that your coverage is right across the entire integration landscape. Whatever we can, get automatically close to 80-90%, and the remaining 10% we are on top of, and make sure that the entire 100% of test scenarios that we recommend from our recommendation engine, they are covered.
Good one.
Perfect. And actually, I know we said that would be the last one, but there is another key one I think that does come up a lot on these webinars that people are always keen to ask. You had talked about partners. You had talked about kind of the nature of the self-service, the DIY, all that good stuff. If somebody is working with a consultant, whether they're implementing a new system or they just have a relationship with somebody who helps them from a consulting perspective, managed services, how would Opkey work if we are not directly managing our own Workday?
Nice. Yeah. So the chances are that we are already working with your system integrators. We have more than 60 relationships, in the market. Some of the top folks we work with, KPMGs, PwCs, Accentures. So, short answer, we can work very well with your system integrator, and we can, enable them to continue helping in terms of your quarterly update or your half-yearly update testing and your implementations, right? So we work very well with the system integrators, and we have existing relationships. Even if we don't have a relationship, we have a dedicated team that enable your partner or your SI partner to learn Opkey fast and work for you. So very
Perfect.
painless and seamless, Noah.
Perfect. So I think that wraps it up here. So thank you guys so much. Very, very great session, very engaging. Again, for the folks who are listening in or downloading it later, for those who are listening in, we'll send you the recording. For those who are watching this on a recording, we will be in touch either way. Do not hesitate to reach out. You can find us through our website. You can email info@opkey.com. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. We're hard to miss. We won't hide. So if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
True that. Great stuff. Thank you very much, Noah, for organizing this and hopping on. Deepti, great stuff. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye.